was the right one. Oh, all you mysteries are moving in the sun. I show some love and respect. Wanna get some love and respect. Baby, you can see that the gazing eye won't lie. Don't give up your lover tonight, 'cause it's just you, me, and this wire. Alright, let's tend to the engine tonight.
And it's Friday, and it wasn't country, Brandon, so take that.
What was that exactly?
That was Interpol and Narc.
Oh, narc.
Narc.
What's that mean?
Somebody who tattles.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did you have your headphones on the whole time?
No, not just right at the end.
Oh, okay, because he said something about just you and me and this wire.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Well, that's the day we're living in, right?
Yeah.
The United States government can do it, so can we.
The video is equally as weird as that song. There's some of that spirit cooking. There's like I think it's Yakuza. It's Japanese.
Really?
Yeah, and they're sitting around a body, like it's the spirit cooking thing, and then those people are all dead all of a sudden, and then there's a girl and she's staring off into space, and it's a strange video. It's a strange song, but it's Interpol, and I like that.
Wow. Well, that's good.
Is it good?
Yeah, that is good. What are you even up to, Brandon?
No, we worked on the house last night.
We did. That was stupid fun.
Did you say you said you did help?
And we went over and mudded.
You were mudding?
Yeah.
It sucked.
Did.
Do those big dogs try and punch you in the balls while you're mudding?
And they don't punch you. Their tail just comes around and slaps you all the time. You got to watch out. And then when you're down trying to get mud, they come over and put their big face right in your face. They're funny.
Yeah. They're a hoot.
They're gigantic.
I know.
They are. They're huge. Like small horses.
Yeah, they're like ponies.
160 pounds a piece.
Oh.
Wow. What do you feed like a month? How many pounds of food do they go through?
So 40 pounds last 18 days with 2 of them.
40 pounds?
40 pounds.
18 days. So that's 80 pounds a month. No, probably 60 pounds a month.
60 pounds a month, yeah.
Roughly. I figured 21 to 22 bags a year.
Wow.
But
It's really not that bad.
I mean, that's 60 pounds of turds in your yard. That's how I look at it.
Roughly. Yeah.
Oh, man, it's got to be some monster stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, coffee pot big.
Coffee pot bag.
Really? That big?
Oof.
Pretty big.
Oof. Like, if you step on that, you're going for a ride. You're
Yeah.
not just getting it on your shoe. It's now a surfboard.
Yeah. No doubt.
That's funny. Well, we're going to get into a couple things, but here's how I thought we would start this off. We'll do a little daily news. We'll run around that gamut for a little bit, and then maybe we'll see what you guys have been studying in the scriptures or what you've been thinking about as far as your faith and those kind of things. And then I have a text if we want to share it. But the first thing that I just kind of want to throw out is this. Where am I at now? Did I just lose all that information that I had up? I had all this information up that I was going to use.
What are you going to talk about?
Yeah, the first thing I was going to throw out was in Christian news, okay, Walmart has expanded their abortion coverage for its employees since the Roe v. Wade decision was overturned. So it says that on Friday, this was last Friday. I'm sorry. This was all the way back. What am I doing here? Let me throw this up. Okay, this report was back in August, but I just want your guys' thoughts on it because we're coming up to all these, elections and everything going on. But back in August, they went ahead and said they were expanding their coverage for travel expenses as well as part of the coverage related to the abortion itself. That was 2 months after the Supreme Court had dealt with the whole Roe v. Wade thing. So have you guys seen any more like conflict as far as people fighting that, or do you think states are just handling that in the way states were given the right to handle it? Or because I have heard Joe get on a couple times and talk about it.
Joe Rogan?
No, Joe Biden.
Oh.
And so I guess my thought is this: is the federal government pressing against this, or are they just letting the states handle it?
Walmart's doing what now?
This was back in August that Walmart
There's a lot of companies doing
expanded
it.
abortion coverage.
Rocket Mortgage.
Okay.
This story is actually quite common amongst liberal companies.
Okay. All right.
Keep shopping at all those stores, you know.
I would agree.
Well, they do have good deals on
Yeah.
stuff.
Amazon, I mean, I don't think they traffic people, but I keep buying from them.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, where else am I supposed to get all
That's
my
the whole
goods?
thing. What are you supposed to? Because even if you go to your local hardware, they're buying that stuff from some big company.
Yeah, anymore. It's all
I don't know what
it's
you're
all
supposed to-
figured out.
I don't know what you're supposed to do.
Although I'm supposed to believe that if I sign up for Patriot Mobile through Glenn Beck,
Yeah.
that they don't help abortion people like Verizon does, even though they have to be using the same tower.
Right.
I mean, come
Right.
on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not too.
No. Right.
But anyway, yeah, this is actually quite common, and it seems that we are in the society of you are with us or you're against us.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular side is like, we are going to kill our babies, okay? You are not going to keep us from killing our babies. And you know what? We are going to make sure that you get a ride to your baby's death.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you're saying.
Right. If you have to go to
This
Idaho,
is important to somebody.
right?
That if I need to put a child's life at end,
It's all in the house.
yeah. But like, if your kid had type 1 diabetes,
Right.
okay, here Walmart,
Yeah.
the people you just talked about,
Yeah.
I think they do a great service in selling. They sell second-rate insulin, but you can get insulin fairly cheaply,
Okay. Yeah.
and syringes and whatever without prescription. I think that is helpful, and the person who's making that insulin is doing it to be helpful to people who can't afford, whatever, or for people like me who don't like doctors
Right.
and want to take care of stuff myself.
Yeah.
So, why not offer that to your children, your employees who have children who are type 1 diabetics? Why not go, you know what, Walmart, as we work here, your kid needs insulin, it's on the house.
Yeah.
Where's that statement?
Right.
Why is it that the perk, and they're proud to rush it to the newspaper, listen, if you need a ride to get your baby dead,
Yeah.
Walmart's buying them.
Right.
That's what they're happy and excited to print.
Yeah. Well, that's just because it meets the agenda of the day. You know, it kind of speaks into that whole worldview that, like you said, we pride ourselves in killing babies.
But it's Baal.
Yeah.
It's Nineveh.
Right. Yeah. Well, hats off to Walmart for helping the
Rocket Mortgage.
insulin people and Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah, I mean, there's tons of companies
Yeah.
that are like, we will not have this.
Yeah.
We will not. What's amazing is abortions still happen every day.
Right.
They are still happening in all 50 states. What has changed is what people thought was a law really wasn't. It wasn't a law. That wasn't a law. It was a ruling
Right.
that we were buffaloed into believing was law of the land.
Right.
And the court just said, no, this isn't in our lap.
Right.
We're not doing this. And now it's back to the states. And I was watching, I think it was Glenn Beck played a Hillary Clinton interview. And you want to talk about somebody who time is turning into a stark raving lunatic?
Yeah.
Watch Hillary's face. And she is totally aghast that people would want to give power to the states. That state legislators, can you believe the state legislator would have the power to rescind the presidential candidate or to determine about abortion or like
It's crazy.
it's amazing what these people think.
Well,
And you're either in that camp
yeah.
of the government's taking care of us or we want to do it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
The gray area is disappearing.
Right. Yeah, it is disappearing. Disappearing so quickly that not only abortion, but even if a football high school coach wants to pray at the 50-yard line after a win in a game, that he was fired from his job. But the Supreme Court, I don't know whether it was this Monday or the Monday before last, they voted in his favor, and he'll be reinstated. And I don't know if he was an assistant coach, but he'll be reinstated as an assistant coach at that school again, because they said he did nothing wrong and he's allowed to pray on the field if he wants to. And if students want to join him, they can. Did you hear about this?
I think I did.
So, that Washington High School football coach.
And this is taking like 3 or 4 years, right?
Yeah, this has taken a while. This happened back in, well, let me see. Well, I think the court, well, this, I want to say the court started the process back in June, but this happened a while back. Yeah, this is back in June when the Supreme Court actually ruled, but he just got his job back, I think I saw.
Okay.
So I don't know how that all works out, but so I mean, we're living in a world where there is like you said, there is a camp that says, we're the rulers of the world and you're going to abide by us. And if you don't, you'll be penalized for it.
Yeah.
You'll either lose your job or whatever's going to happen to you. And then there's this other camp that says, no, we're trying to fight against this. But I don't, to be honest, I don't even know who's on whose side.
This is the problem. It isn't even just fight against this. It's like I don't have time to mess with you.
Right.
Okay? I'm trying to live my life. The other camp is like trying to live their life, be free, be independent, be personally responsible.
Right.
Take care of business as America takes care of business.
Yeah.
I don't have time to fight Hillary Clinton's of the world. I don't have time to fight Tim Ryan's.
Right.
Those people have all the time in the world because that's what they do.
Right.
It's their full-time job to be an activist.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And cause problems.
Yeah.
And try and put us under the thumb of the New World Order.
Yeah.
The rest of us are trying to make a living, pay our taxes.
Yeah.
We don't have time to get together and
Right.
it's exhausting. Well, now we're having to.
Right.
Now we're having to do these things. I hope people turn out for this election Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I hope some sanity is put somehow back on the table.
I want to encourage somebody to vote in my place.
You're not going to vote?
Well, like I told Brandon, I said, I haven't had the time or taken the time to research. And I'm not going to go in there and just eeny, meeny, miny, moe it. And I don't even know. Like, the only thing I know about J.D. Vance is he cooks bacon for his daughter in a commercial. That's the only thing I know about him.
You can't possibly, no.
That's the only thing I know. And the only thing I know about Tim Ryan is he's called Taxing Tim Ryan. That's all I know. Because every once in a while when I'm watching a YouTube video, I'll see this video, and I can't skip it because they make me watch the dumb thing. And so Vance is there cooking bacon for his daughter, and that's all I see about that. And then Taxing Tim Ryan. We can't have any more of Taxing Tim Ryan. That's all I know about those two guys.
Tim Ryan would vote to kill children.
Well, I did see that his stance on abortion is really,
Okay,
it's bad.
so just on that alone, please don't vote for Tim.
No, I wouldn't vote for Tim. No. But I don't know enough about Vance to know if he's crooked as the dog's hind
I personally
leg.
am not a big fan of J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
I do feel like he's a carpetbagger, and I do wish that we could have had the Mandel or the
Howie Mandel?
the Gibbons, Josh Mandel.
Oh, Josh Mandel.
Or the Gibbons guy.
Okay.
The Trump-like guy who they were like standing on stage ready to fight each other.
Okay.
Like men. And I personally wish we could have had one of those. I wish we could have had a different governor than DeWine.
So here's the issue that I got in this world. Why can't we have one of those guys?
Because you're not voting.
No, because there's only 2 guys they give you. They only give you 2 guys to vote for.
Yeah, but you're not. But see, here's the thing: you're not voting. So
could I write Gibbons in?
you could.
Yeah, I
It's
could.
not going to matter now.
No, it's not.
No.
You gotta do
Unfortunately.
that on the last one, right?
Huh?
The last one.
Yeah, in March, when we had
When they decided who the
primary.
2 guys were going to be.
Right, when we had our primary.
Huh.
No, listen. There's a whole procedure. This whole thing works.
Yeah.
It's worked for years.
Uh-huh.
You guys, you can be participating.
I could be.
There's no reason not to be.
But like you said, I'm just trying to pay my taxes.
Yeah, but I do feel like a small minutia of time could be paid.
It could be.
To the internet.
It could be.
So that you can go vote.
Uh-huh.
It is a functioning part of this republic that
It is.
works.
Yeah.
And you have a responsibility to do.
I know. I'm a bad American and a bad Christian because of that. I understand all
Probably
that.
causing more damage.
You're right. I am. And the fact that I watched, 3 episodes of Psych last night with my sons doesn't help. I could have been doing research for America.
But so you how he sits here with his computer on his lap
Yeah. I could do that during the
while
show.
you're watching Psych.
Oh, while I'm watching Psych, I could do that.
Yeah.
You're right. I could. All right. I'll do that for the presidential election, and I'll try to find one guy that I could vote for.
But what matters is the ones that are coming up.
Oh.
More important than the presidential election in 2 years
Yeah, that's true.
are the elections that we're having right now.
Yeah, that's true. Well, from what I hear, though,
You have time.
the good guys...
You do have time.
From what I hear, though, the good guys aren't even a part of it, so the better guys will probably get in this time, I think.
The good guys.
Yeah, there are no really good guys that are a part of it, but the better than the other guys, the better guys will probably get in. That's what I've heard.
I don't know what all that means.
All right, well, here's another thing to be thinking about for the coming weeks ahead, and that is you guys have probably seen that I think there is a general in charge of about 100 military. They're not calling them, some people are not calling them troops. They're called military personnel. And they touched down this past week or week before last in the Ukraine. And the government is saying in news conferences and briefings that they're just there to give oversight to all the billions of dollars worth of military stuff that's being brought into the Ukraine to make sure it's being used right. Now, when has the government ever made sure that things are being used right?
How did we start deploying forces into Vietnam?
Probably the same way.
Same way.
Yeah.
We were there as overseers.
Yeah. And from my understanding, the reason they send when I say my understanding from some of these analysts that are talking about this, they said that what happens is before you get ready to drop troops into an area, you send a small group in there to figure out where you're going to drop them and where you're going to put your stuff and where you're going to start.
And you call them a peacekeeping force.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
It's pretty
beautiful.
classic.
Yeah. And that there's about 2 to 3 weeks before the ground is totally frozen over in the Ukraine, which means that's 2 to 3 weeks before Russia starts really driving the nail in the coffin.
Sure, because the ground will hold the tanks up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all the media sites are saying that, Russia's taking severe blows by the Ukrainians who really their military is almost obsolete now. They don't even have any guys left, it appears. And they're really running low on everything. And Zelensky, every time he's on the news, he's like, "Help us, help us."
We need more money.
But yet they're doing so well against Russia. They're really pushing them back. I don't understand. You can't believe anything
there's
that
nothing.
you see on the news. So something's happening and brewing over there. So if people want to be praying about something, you might want to be praying because Ukrainian people are going to freeze to death. We're probably going to be in a war with Russia. And then the other thing is Russia.
Well, we're not going to have turkey and stuffing and cranberry
And
sauce.
we're not going to have turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce because
We'll be in war.
well, we'll be in war, but also because we can't get diesel and the trucks can't get
Diesel.
to. Yeah.
Seriously, if we have a diesel shortage,
Yeah.
and I'm waiting for this to happen,
Right.
You have to have diesel to get gas. I mean,
Right.
so
you have a
once
gas
you're out of
shortage?
diesel, you're out of gas.
Right.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah. Not going to be good. So you think it's going to happen, gentlemen, or you think they're just pulling a
Could happen.
fast one?
It's all plausible. Glenn Beck played the clip from Vias for Vendetta.
Mm-hmm.
And the point was that the guy says, you will come to us, or we will provide your answer, or whatever. They have to be scared to the point where they will come to us. That's why this works.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening.
Yep.
We're being driven to fear on 7 different fronts at any given time.
COVID didn't work enough. So
Well,
now
I think that's a whole different.
So
Listen,
now they're going to starve you to death.
I think that's a whole different ballgame right there. Yeah. Did you hear a lab in London now has 80% killer COVID?
I've heard about it. Yeah.
Like Boston, so it wasn't good enough that we almost died from the first one.
Right.
Now we're making it stronger.
Yeah.
Can we please not do this?
It's a good idea.
Let's make it 100%.
Let's make it really deadly.
Yeah.
Did you watch that Alex Jones clip I sent you? How cool is that?
I missed it.
Oh, where
Kidding
he's
me?
Huh?
Kidding me?
No,
That was
I
probably
wanted
the best
to.
clip
I
you
wanted to. I
ever
forgot.
made
so he's on a stand, and the prosecuting attorney is
for
saying,
that shooting.
Have you made comments or references to the fact that the White House and the government are involved in pedophilia and stuff like that? And he goes, "Oh, you mean like the Clintons and
Nice.
What's the other guy's name?
A bunch of he named off a couple.
Epstein." He goes, "You mean the Epsteins or Epstein and the Clintons?" He said, and
They're
that
all
was
like-
it. That was the clip. It just stopped there whenever he said that. It was just a little meme.
Yeah, they're
clip.
all.
You can hate Alex Jones and you can say he got his due or whatever, but he has unraveled a lot of the junk that's been going on that most people never know
What due
about.
did he get?
Supposedly $995
Yeah, but I
million
mean,
dollars he has to pay out.
What did he do wrong?
Well,
He didn't
for-
murder anybody.
no, he didn't.
His First Amendment is what he did wrong.
He said that.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
They made an example
yeah.
out of what they can do now to your rights.
How many times has CNN or Fox News, either one, reported something and then found out it was wrong later?
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
But you never hear about it.
Because they're such good researchers. Like, that was the whole case against Alex Jones. You should have researched this. You shouldn't have talked about this. So because you didn't do your due diligence to research this, now you're saying things that aren't true, and now you've hurt these people, and they deserve $995 million.
Yeah. No, it's
Then everyone's crying because they're getting $700 million a piece. Because they're sticker shocked how much money they're getting.
Oh, yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
Where are they going to get
They
their
got
diesel?
it. They got that.
Who'd they get it from?
It was almost $1 billion.
I know, but who'd they get the money from?
They're not. They won't get all that.
You don't think?
No,
That's
it was
what the
awarded
judge-
to them. He'll settle out of court for a couple million here, a couple million there.
Yeah.
It'll be done.
No, it's not gonna.
Yeah.
It's and this is the thing. It's all for the specter of it.
The wow factor.
The wow factor. What's actually gonna happen? He's still on television. You can still stream him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not going anywhere. He'll file bankruptcy and.
And I got to tell you, I was a little like I watched. I don't have time to sit and watch because there's hours of things, but I would watch 15 minutes every once in a while to see what was going on. And Owen Schroyer, who was one of his leading reporters, and then himself, when they were on the stand, I didn't think they were as strong as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah.
They looked like they were caught in a lie half the time.
Well, you can't, because you feel like you are.
Yeah, I know. But if you
At
had
any given time you say something the wrong way that could be taken a different way, you have to think about every single
I know.
thing the way you're saying.
it is true, you have to calculate what you're saying just because of that fact. Yeah, especially when they're trying to nail you. But.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this to the.
So back to the troops real quick. If we do have troops that supposedly are there just to oversee the stuff, do you think they'll make sure that they get sold to the ISIS troops that are now fighting for the Ukrainians? Because I've heard reports that they've actually hired ISIS troops to help fight in the Ukrainian war against Russia.
I hadn't heard that.
How methodically stupid is that?
Well, here's the thing, and this is the problem with fighting these wars like this and these proxy wars. Ukraine doesn't. Ukraine can have other friends.
Mm-hmm.
that aren't necessarily our friends.
Right.
Is your email tagged up with this, the April thing?
April for Brian. Yeah, he should be able to pull it up if he goes to Gmail.
What, you want to watch the clip?
Yeah, it's so cool. Because they put
You mean Epstein and Clinton?
it's 'cause
Clintons?
they do like a Joe Rogan thing where Joe Rogan's at the fight, watching the fight. They go,
That's funny. We got lots of viewers
One
today.
of the things you've been talking about on your show is your allegation.
One of the things that you've been talking about.
We'll do this here.
That government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children.
Joe Rogan.
right?
Well, you mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
You can let it go again. It'll just keep playing. We'll watch it from the beginning.
That was the right hand.
One of the things you've been talking about on your show is your allegation that government officials are aiding in pedophilia, child trafficking, and the grooming of children, right?
Well, you mean like what Jeffrey Epstein did with the Clintons?
No, that is.
That's classic. That's a good one.
That was the right hand. No, that's fun.
That is good.
That is pretty good.
We like it. Approved.
Approved.
"Yep."
This is uneducated approved.
Uneducated. Approved.
All right. Well, those are just some news headlines. Those of you that stuck with us through that and decided that
We have 2 viewers.
it was worth it. We'll probably jump into some other stuff here in just a second. Anything else that you guys been going through? Like as far as news, any stuff you've seen out there that maybe we should just throw out there?
At any given time, it's a whole bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. All right. So let me ask you guys this then: has there been anything that you've been thinking through scripturally or in your life personally that you say, "Man, I got to get a handle on this," that we can just maybe talk about here the last half of the show? And if you say no, then I'm going to be like, well, what are you guys doing even being Christians? Because you should be thinking about these things.
No.
Oh, jeez. Is your hat Mac for Mac Plumbing?
Yeah, we're coming up with all these different shirts and hats and experimenting with stuff.
Marketing?
Yeah,
So people are like, oh, who's Mac? And you'll be like, oh, it's my plumbing company.
yeah.
Nice. We should do that with NEC.
We have shirts.
I actually like these hats more than the NEC hats.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Those hats suck compared to the NEC hats.
Oh, made in Ukraine.
They're not. Ours are made in China. So what's the difference?
Oh.
Is that why they're gray?
Bangladesh.
That's close to China. No thoughts, boys? Any scripture? Anything you've been thinking through?
My verse of the day has been pretty tame.
You do. You read those verses every day, don't you?
Yeah.
And there are verses like, God will bless you. That's your verse.
Yeah. The joy of the Lord will
Yeah. There's my
cover
strength,
all of
yeah.
your, it's easier strength, yeah.
Mhm.
Yea, though you walk through the valley. That actually was the verse of the day.
Today?
Last week sometime.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll read the verse of the day. Is it the U version?
Yeah.
Think-
You version.
U version.
Yeah.
Like Y-O-U.
Like, why? It's
Yeah.
all about you.
It's all about you. Forget about Jesus. Let's see. Here we go. Verse of the day. We even have a lady that is going to read it for us. But 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor.
So.
2, yeah. So that means, Brandon, you and I are going to labor together today because they have a good return.
Do you think this is why people don't read the Bible? Because you version verse of the day leaves you going, so.
It might be. Yeah.
But then they make a little picture, and there'll be a woman holding a ball of light,
Yeah.
and when she blows it, little dandelion seeds come off or something.
That's-
and
yeah.
Then they'll put the verse of the day over it.
Right.
And then your wives share it,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they go, oh.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good enough.
Yeah.
Just the verse of the day.
That's out of Ecclesiastes, though. So it'd be good to know.
There's a little depth.
There's some depth there.
There's some depth that we might be missing.
Yeah. So 2 are better than 1, which means if you're alone, you're a loser today.
Well, I think
And
one of my other favorite verses right in there is a bird in hand is better than 2 in the bush.
is that
Yeah.
a scripture?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's Ecclesiastes.
Oh, okay.
You want to have a friend,
Yeah.
and then if you each have a bird in hand, that's like better than 4 in a bush.
Nice.
See how it works?
Yeah.
It's multiplicative.
Uh-huh.
If you were a chart, if we were in a meeting, it would go like that.
Yeah.
And then
Well, if you think about it, God isn't multiplying, especially prosperity.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no addition. It's only
He
multiplication.
only wants to multiply to his people.
Yeah.
I think that verse we talked about Wednesday about the prayer, him hearing prayers was.
Yeah. So Brandon was kind of blown off his rocker this week when he read a scripture text. Can you, Brandon, why don't you just share?
I forget where it is.
right.
John 8,
So,
right?
yeah, I think you said it was in John 8. I don't know. How am I supposed to know where it's at? You found it. I don't have the whole Bible.
Because you're the
memorized.
pastor.
I don't have the whole Bible.
You're the
memorized.
pastor. You know what we expect from you?
I still.
Whenever someone's saying a verse, you're just muttering it in your lips under your breath. You just have it memorized.
Let's see. If God were your father, you Satan worshippers.
You heathens.
Do you want me to just look it up online? Because it's found in a lot of different texts, but what?
Can we broadcast the Rumble yet?
Not live. They
Still
don't. They don't
can't.
have. Yeah, they don't have it. We could upload stuff to it, but I just checked it here a few weeks ago, and you still can't do it live.
Boo.
It's John 9:31.
Okay, so Brandon, read it for us, and then Matt's going to break it down.
We know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him.
I don't believe that.
What should you do, Matt?
I mean, what kind of God is that? You know, he picks and chooses who he listens to.
Yeah,
But I can't.
you can't even
I
fathom.
can't even fathom. No, I mean, what kind of God is that? Why would you want to worship something like that? You know, a God with principles. Why would you want to bother?
Yeah.
So he does. So he doesn't hear the heathen prayer.
Mm-hmm. Sinners. God does not hear sinners. But if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him. So obviously God's not deaf when the sinners go, oh, can you get me this or do this?
I really could use a good parking spot.
Yeah.
He's just like,
It's on this TV screen.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking not.
he might smoke, you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. But he's spirit, so I'm thinking he wouldn't smoke.
Jesus might.
I don't know. Did you ever see those old video spoofs
Yeah.
where Peter's smoking? He's like, Peter, put those cigarettes away. They're bad for you.
I have not seen this.
You don't want to see it. Some of them are bad. I saw those a long time ago. They were pretty messed up. They took some old Jesus movie where he's with his disciples. It's like back in the 70s or something.
Wait. Is this The Life of Brian?
Huh?
With Monty Python? The Life of Brian? Because I will tell you,
It might be similar to that.
it is one of the funniest movies, but also probably the biggest blasphemous,
Yeah.
sacrilegious movie
Yeah.
there ever was.
It might have been part of that. because they were like in the back messing around and stuff, and Peter was trying to smoke a cigarette or something, and Jesus yells at him for smoking a cigarette. It's bad. It's bad. But you got to think that they probably did stupid stuff like that.
Yeah, they're regular people.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think so.
You know, like
There were vices.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah. Because he came to save lost people and sinners. So here's the question: what is this saying in verse 31? So let's just go back and read. So they reviled Jesus in verse 28. They reviled him and said, "You are his disciple, but we are the disciples of Moses. We know that God has spoken to Moses, but as for this man, we do not know where he is from." The man answered and said to them, "Well, here is an amazing thing that you do not know where he is from, and yet he opened my eyes." So this man has just been healed by Jesus. The religious leaders are interrogating him, and he says to them, "You know what? It's pretty crazy that you don't know who this guy is, and he just opened my eyes." Then in verse 31, we know that God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him. Since the beginning of time, it has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of a person born blind. If this man were not from God, he could do nothing. They answered him, "You were born entirely in sins, and yet you are teaching us." And so they put him out. So this is a conversation between a guy who was blind and is now seeing because Jesus healed him, and the religious leaders who are interrogating him. And he brings up this idea of, you know, that we've always been told and we know that God does not hear sinners. I mean, that's part of the truth of the Old Testament. It teaches us God does not hear sinners, but if anyone is God-fearing and does his will, he hears him. And so then so what he's trying to do there in that argument in verse 31 is he's trying to say that obviously if God is hearing Jesus and Jesus just healed me, then he's not a sinner. And you can't treat him as if he's a sinner because of what he's doing. Now, that doesn't mean the principle of God not hearing sinners and hearing those who are God-fearing is not true. It is true.
I just realized how white your hair is.
I know. Whatever.
For real.
Listen, I got stuff in there to hold it down so it makes it look more white, more
You're about
silvery.
due for a haircut.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I just cut it myself like a week and a half or 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you're not cutting it as short as you
Maybe
used
not,
to.
no. Because I feel like if I cut it too short, then it looks like I don't have any hair.
Yeah. What's the point?
Right.
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. So pretty much this guy's trying
Pretty
to...
riveting stuff.
Yeah, this guy's trying to make an argument that Jesus is not a sinner, and yet at the same time the principle stands. So the question would be, if a sinner is praying, well, that's probably a good thing because they would be seeking God in some form.
But it doesn't mean he's redeemed because he doesn't have his salvation in him.
No, it doesn't. So to hear means to answer in this instance. So if Jesus is calling on the Father to bring healing to this guy, then God the Father is hearing Jesus and he's answering the prayer by healing this blind man. So it's not that God doesn't hear the sinner, it's that God doesn't necessarily work for the benefit of the sinner. Romans 8:28 says God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. That means if you don't love him and you're not called according to his purposes, then all things are not going to work for your good. So ultimately, this is not like God has a deaf ear.
But if you hang out by the front door of the church, you can have some scraps.
You could. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, the call of this is that God hears the repentant sinner. He definitely hears the sinner who wants to know Christ and wants to get his life right. He hears that. But if you're not following Jesus and you're living in disobedience and you're not God-fearing, then God has no obligation to serve you or answer you. Yeah.
So David Miller says, the guy means that God used Jesus to restore his sight. God would not perform miracles through a sinner.
Yep.
Hearing in this case has to do with God honoring Jesus' healing request.
Yep.
I think we just said that.
Yep.
So,
Thanks, David, for confirming that.
yeah, we agree today, David.
Yep.
I like to cast the doubt like that.
Yeah.
It's nice.
David, just say something so we don't agree, so we can get back on track.
We want to get back to where we were.
No, that is good.
We went over that verse about the God works all things out, for our glory,
For our good?
for our good,
Yeah.
for His glory, for
Yeah.
our good. Me and Zoe, and she's the one that said, "For those who believe, Dad." I'm like, okay, just double checking.
Yeah.
Because my word today, sometimes leaves
Yeah.
that out.
Right. In your songs that you sing.
In my songs,
Yeah.
about His grace being enough.
Yeah. His grace is enough for me. Just enough.
Just enough.
Were you going to say something, Brandon, about that?
I was just going to say that verse is scary to me because you see how many Christians aren't living right.
Uh-huh.
And they think that they're praying for something, in all reality,
Right.
might not be getting it, or might not be hearing it, and just kind of pass me up.
Right. Well, to be honest, that's part of the prosperity gospel. And that is, if God's not blessing you, you must not be where you need to be.
So I think you tell on yourself with your prayers. Like, if you're like, God, grant me a good parking spot at Aldi today. Mm-hmm. Chances are.
It's pretty easy to get a good parking spot at Aldi, though.
I think they all suck at all these.
Really?
Yeah.
There's that one right up front by the buggy parking area that's really good.
Yeah.
You can kind of get in and out. It's a straight shot. Try to get that one.
I will not go to Aldi. I never have, and I won't.
Are
Why?
you kidding me?
No,
It's German.
don't care.
It's Wahlsenflicken.
I'd rather shop there any day of the week than Walmart.
So, speaking of German, we have an Austrian that works with us.
Yeah.
And we had a webinar, and I'm listening to it on the phone while I'm driving. And he says things like execution,
Yeah.
and then he says final solution. And you're like, wait, is this what it sounded like in the 40s?
Wow.
I don't think a German should be able to say execution or final solution. I think those should be outlawed. But anyway, I won't go to Aldi. I won't do it. I'll make the wife go. She's like, can you go to Aldi and whatever? And I go, I'll go to Walmart. But she's kind of the same way with Giant Eagle. She protests Giant Eagle.
I don't like Giant Eagle either.
Why?
They have everything all the time. They never don't have something.
And the prices are double.
Their prices are double, but
I would agree.
But they have it.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I will not shop there.
Who shops there then?
I do.
Oh.
People.
But you just said you won't go there.
No, Aldi. I won't go to Aldi.
Gotcha.
Corey won't go to
Why
Giant
won't you
Eagle.
go to Aldi?
Because I don't want to go to no German store.
Really?
Yeah. Them Europeans can keep their stinky store.
They've made a vow that none of their stuff will have anything with GMOs in it.
That doesn't mean anything to me.
Huh?
That means it has twice as many GMOs.
You're probably right.
It's the Germans. No, we put nothing in our food. Why? You can trust it.
All I know is when I eat those oven roasted almonds from Ollie's, and it's just not good for me. I start getting all dizzy and woozy, like
Because
whoa.
of cyanide in them.
I think the powder that's on the outside is something that I should not be
You
eating.
should taste it.
A handful of raw cashews will kill you. I did not
Raw.
know that.
When you say raw, you mean like before they've been boiled. And
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild.
Really?
Kill you dead.
Yeah, they're poisonous. They have toxins in them. You have to get the toxins out so they cook them.
So listen. So who was the person that ate them and died? And they're like, don't eat those. And then somebody's like, yeah, but what if we cook them? Then let's try.
Yeah, I think it was Pocahontas.
Was it?
Yeah. That was the one thing that got her. She could track a deer for 100, miles, but she accidentally ate a handful of raw cashews.
Yeah, but then who was the one who was like, I think if she would have cooked those, she'd have been okay.
Oh,
Like, where do we come up with this stuff that we know these things?
I don't know. Maybe we feed them. Maybe we feed them to monkeys.
Who was the first person that was like, they ate a coffee bean from the plant and they're like, oh, this is gross. But somebody said, let's roast it on a fire.
Right.
Then we'll grind it. Then we'll shove water over it hot.
Yeah.
And this is something to drink. But it won't be popular until like the 90s.
Yeah.
In the 50s, it's just a good way to get some caffeine to keep America working.
Right.
It's going to taste like garbage.
Yeah.
But this is what America's going to work on. Now, in the 90s, it's going to explode into a whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, how did that...
Well, this is ultimate proof that aliens exist.
You think so?
I think so.
Do you think coffee is alien technology? Are you willing to say that today?
I think, yeah. And I think they came down and showed us how to roast it.
Like an Enoch.
Yeah. The Watchers.
The Watchers.
Here's makeup.
Yeah.
Here's pharmakia. You're going to need coffee. It's going to be a late night.
Right. Yeah.
Let me show you the art of coffee.
So speaking of development of things, I was just looking in Proverbs earlier, and let me see if I can find it now. You guys can go ahead with your merry little ways.
Anything come of the Joseph Jordan stuff?
No, I emailed his buddy that was supposed to
Talk to us?
be a good interviewer, and he's never gotten back with me. So we'll see what's going down with that. I don't know if that's going to come back or not. So this is Proverbs. I'll email him one more time, and if he doesn't get back with me, then obviously we'll count our losses and call it. But I think Joe Jordan, he said he'd be more than willing to come back and do another show. So
Yeah.
So we'll be good with that. But this is Proverbs chapter 24, and it's verses 10 and 11, specifically 11. But I just want you to think about this, that this is not a new concept that we look at today, but this kind of brings it home to the scary part of it, the concern. So it says, if you are slack in the day of distress, your strength is limited. Verse 11, deliver those who are being taken away to death, and those who are staggering to slaughter. Oh, hold them back. Now, if you think about that in light of the wisdom literature and in light of the New Testament,
Where's that?
that's Proverbs 24, 10 and 11. Jesus said, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach them to obey everything I've commanded you, and I'll be with you to the end of the age. And that was all about evangelism. It was about going and getting people who are headed to a eternity without God and pull them back and make them disciples and teach them to obey me so that they can have eternal life. That was that evangelism thing. And here, though, it's saying, deliver those who are being taken away to death and those who are staggering to slaughter. Oh, hold them back. So I don't think we understand our responsibility to really strive, especially in the day of distress, which Paul says, redeem the time, for the days are evil.
Well, striving in distress, you're tired.
Well, the world's tired. Everything is going on. It's tired. But it says, if you're slack in the day of distress, your strength is limited.
Right.
And then he says, deliver those who are being taken away to death and those who are staggering to slaughter.
I want you to be more performance-driven.
Well,
Is this a sales class?
no, I just think we don't understand the responsibility we have to hold people back from death, because they're heading there, but we're supposed to be trying to hold them back from death. If I can find the Spurgeon quote,
You should do that. You should have that just have a conversation with somebody at McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're ordering food and they're in front of you, and you're just trying to have a conversation with them, and they're like, "Hey man, like I'm just trying to eat McDonald's," and you could be like, "Listen, buddy, I'm just trying to hold you back from death."
and see how it goes over.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Listen, I'm just trying to keep you from dying. And I don't mean your first death. I mean your eternal death.
Might work.
Yeah.
I'll try it. But then I don't usually go into McDonald's, so
Well,
actually I don't ever go into
when you go
McDonald's.
into Aldi.
Okay, Aldi's. I could do Aldi's.
And you know how you can buy like the big box. You can just take the box of whatever,
Yeah.
and you're just getting a box of potato chips.
Right.
Because I know you'd be a big potato chip eater.
Right. I actually avocados. There'd be a lot of avocados in my thing. So. Yeah. I'm
But a
trying to-
box of tofu.
Oh,
I won't buy my tofu at Aldi's.
why?
Actually, they don't sell it there.
They don't sell that.
I haven't seen tofu at
Because
Aldi's.
Germans know it's for soy boys.
It's probably true.
You do not feel that troops is. They'll be very weak. You see, the Japanese soldier very small.
That is so funny.
Go back to the shelf on the left and get some methamphetamine. Keep you awake for days.
I can't find
You
this
can
quote.
You can focus.
I can't find this quote by him.
But if you don't focus, we'll send you to concentration camp so you can concentrate.
I don't know. If Annie were here, she'd probably be able to quote it. She's a Spurgeon fan.
Spurge, and so is Madonna.
Is she really?
Reading Spurgeon.
Oh, is that what that song is?
Yeah. Yep.
Huh. I always thought it was like a surgeon.
Oh, no, it's reading Spurgeon.
Yeah, cutting for the very first time.
It's reading.
Oh. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. That's Mark Twain.
Man, that is a good YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah.
That's a good Facebook.
Wasn't Mark Twain a Freemason?
Might have been.
I don't know.
Could have been.
He's probably atheist or agnostic, but he could have been a Freemason. They have an Elon Musk quote on here. When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. That's a good quote, Elon.
Is
I
it?
did like Elon's costume.
Yeah.
With the satanic thing?
Yeah, the Baphomet.
But is that something that
Staged.
that would like shock you? That he's
It did shock me, actually.
you thought he was
Yeah,
a
but
Christian?
he's being a joke. Like,
He was on a bunch of Christian podcasts like a year ago.
Yeah, he was on the Babylon Bee, and he was on Joe Rogan, which is not Christian. But what other Christian
There's
stuff?
a couple of them he was on.
Yeah.
I'll send them to you.
yeah, but still, just like,
I'm not saying he
if
was
you were a
following.
non-believer,
It wouldn't matter.
it wouldn't matter. So he's like, this doesn't matter. I don't believe this either.
Yeah, that's true. Just like Vody Bakken was on Glenn Beck.
He should have had he should have been wearing that and carrying a Bible at the same time. That would have been interesting.
Yeah.
It's
That-
just weird why they chose that.
And then is that picture sewn together? Is that thing photoshopped?
No.
Is that really Elon
there's
Musk?
There's a bunch of that.
Is there?
Pictures of him in it, yeah.
Is there?
So
Yeah, you can't trust them.
it was a goat head or a ram head with
Go ahead.
nice. That's
Upside down
demonic.
cross.
That's demonic. We can't have any of this. All right, everybody off Twitter.
You got no more Teslas. Stop buying Teslas.
Yep. You heard it here first.
You heard it here. You heard it here first.
So, I mean, I don't know. I just think responsibility of the church to, I mean, I know we can't force people, but I think we should be, at least there should be an urgency in our heart to want to reach lost people. And I don't see that as much in the church. So here's how it used to be back in the 80s and the 90s and even in the early 2000s. It was all about outreach. We're doing stuff to bring people in the church. But I don't even know if it was about lost souls. It was about growing the church.
Right.
We just talked about that today.
Yes.
Somehow we have to get back to a brokenness in our soul that says people are going to be separated from God for all of eternity. What should we be doing with our time? And as Christians, we got to start filling our time with prayer for the lost, seeking the lost, spending time with the lost.
A lot of the churches now don't tell it how it is because they're scared their congregation will leave.
That is true. That's true. Like Sunday morning, the discussion we had Sunday morning there were a lot of people in there that are like fringe, maybe believers, maybe not. I don't even know where everything is at. But in the process of that conversation, it was amazing to me that most people were like, oh yeah, we probably should do that, but what good's it going to do? Or how, well, I don't know, but we at least got to have an urgency about it, I would think. Matt's going to come back in.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Drifting off.
I'm listening. The Sunday conversation was kind of good, but the thing that strikes me is everybody gets hung up on isms. You know, like
Satanism.
no, like the first thing everybody says is like, well, if you saw you smoking.
I know. I
It's
noticed that.
It's an ism.
I know. I noticed.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no. That's why I felt like it was not good, but I said the butt joke thing. Because, like, it's Bob Hanasowski wondering, like, well, sometimes I talk like an idiot. And that being convicting to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's God working in someone's life.
Right.
When I can share with you what God is convicting. But if your thing is like, you have so little conviction that your first thing you're thinking about is like someone else smoking.
Right. Yeah, I don't get that either.
It's the same problem. It's what we're talking about.
Right.
And so that whole conversation to me becomes superfluous and irrelevant and surface skimming.
Well, yeah, because it's like I think I said it twice. I'm like, I don't understand Christians, like hanging out with non-Christians, but then going, well, I have to correct them or I have to make them right. So, like for instance, if I'm sitting in their presence and they use the Lord's name in vain, I'm like, oh, please don't do that.
I know
You're taking my Lord's name in vain.
No, it's annoying.
It's like that's what they're gonna do. They're sinners.
They're not Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now here's the thing: if you're sitting there taking the Lord's name in vain,
Yeah, that's the problem.
that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I mean,
that was my point. That was my point.
Yeah.
I hang out with a lot of non-Christian people.
Right.
I don't see you going to a campfire and say like I'm smoking a crack pipe around the campfire. I don't see you hanging out there.
If I got invited, I would. I would.
You would stay for the crack pipe smoking?
I wouldn't smoke it, but I would be there. If I got, but most people won't invite me.
I just want to say, Brandon, I hang out in a lot of places. I've never been to a campfire with a crack pipe. Where's that campfire?
Yeah, he wants to know
In the ghetto
location,
somewhere.
time and location.
Ghettos around a 55-gallon drum.
That's a campfire, dude. In some places.
No, it is. It is.
Yeah,
No, it is.
Eddie Road, man.
dude. When April and I lived in Florida, we hung out with a lot of different people who were not Christian, and they knew we were, believers and stuff. But for some reason, they let us hang out with them, and they didn't do very good things sometimes. But we hung there, and we were friends with them. Like, I even had my next door neighbor. I would run with him, and the whole time we were running, he'd be like blanking this and blanking that and stuff. But like, you can't be friends with somebody just because they're like a goal to get them saved.
Well, that's what the church did.
Yeah, you need to know that they're precious people, that God loves them, and
Good meeting tonight. 50 souls came up front.
exactly.
I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah,
What am I? Did somebody? Should I be counting this?
yeah, you should.
Did somebody? I didn't know I was treasurer of something.
Right. Well, part of this, there probably might be some comments now, but part of this is the district. This is the second year in a row now that Pastor Wendell has had a prayer where he's asking everybody through November 27th to December 3rd, I think it is, that if we would all sign up for an hour slot to just pray for the church and for lost people. And he makes the reference that last year there was like 700 and some people, according to our churches on the district, 700 and some people who made a profession of faith. Well, I would agree with him 100% that it's going to be prayer that's going to bring that number about. But it can't be about the number. Like, people have to see that, okay, if I get on this prayer thing, then maybe our church will grow.
Yeah.
No, it's saving people from hell. You're holding them back from death. And that's the whole point. Like, we should have an urgency in our heart to want to do that. And so prayer should be the place where that starts. That's my thought.
Well, and we have to drop this love and need to count it.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to share and sow.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a farmer doesn't sow a field and then stare at it
Right.
and then count how many corns are coming up.
Right.
Next time he goes to that field, it's to cut it down.
Yeah.
And that's how we have to be. I mean, I can think of several examples in our church of people who I think have come to a saving knowledge of Christ, but we haven't counted them. Did
No.
you count them?
No, not that
Did
I.
you send our numbers to Wendell?
Well, I mean, every year I'm trying to find somebody that I can say came to the Lord. Luckily, luckily a year ago I was able to use Brandon and Sarah,
Right,
so we look like we grew by 2 people. It was good.
but we've grown by more than that.
Yeah.
I know we have.
Yeah, we have.
It's a
Real
little
quick,
trickle down effect.
And there's a couple more this year that looks pretty
Promising.
If we can get them in the
Don't
door.
upset it.
I know.
Don't
I'm
upset
trying.
it.
I'm trying. If we can get them in the door.
It's like, going on a date. You don't want to do the wrong thing.
Right.
Yeah, don't scare her away.
Right.
David Miller. I would sooner bring one sinner to Jesus Christ than unravel all the mysteries of the divine word. For salvation is the one thing that we are to live for. Spurgeon.
That's a good one. That is a really good one.
That is a good one.
But that's not the one I was thinking of in my head. It's something
He
about.
had hundreds of thousands.
I know.
So, I mean,
But it was one about how he said, if they're going to go to hell, let them go to hell kicking and screaming as they're walking over our bodies or something like that. It was crazy. But I can't find it online. David may find it. If Annie, I'm telling you, Annie might be able to quote it word for word if it were here. But yeah. So you know how that song by Cyndi Lauper, Just Another Manic Monday.
Okay.
Well, we need to figure out a song that we could write about Friday. Because what is manic? What's a manic Monday? Does anybody?
Wasn't manic like you're crazy?
I think so.
You're uncontrolled.
Yeah.
It's a crazy Monday.
Right. So Friday, because it's uneducated and it's just kind of
Frantic
calm here.
Friday.
Frantic Friday.
Frantic Friday.
Yeah, because it has
Frolicking
to be F.
Friday.
Frolicking Friday.
I mean, that's what soy boys would say. I like the frolicking
Frolic.
Friday.
Yeah. Speaking of soy boys, have you seen the memes and the videos of the dude that is a girl that interviewed Biden just in the last couple weeks?
I saw the interview and a few people who commented on it.
It's a shame. It's a shame. It's a shame.
It is a shame. Yeah, but we literally have Caligula as a leader. I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing that Joseph Biden doesn't love is a horse.
Oh.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he may. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah. He might.
He's not home.
No. No. And
We have no leader. Like,
no, we don't. Mm-mm. And that's why they say that.
have you seen our vice president go on and on about school buses? The
No,
school bus
I didn't
talk?
see that.
Electric.
Yeah, electric school buses.
Yeah.
Because hundreds of thousands of bus drivers and oh my gosh.
Well, she did that in response to someone saying, "Are people gonna starve to death and freeze to death because of the lack of diesel and all that stuff?" So then she went off on that, right?
Well, somebody asked the interview I saw. Somebody asked what she liked about the new spending bill, and it was the school buses, the electric school buses.
Gotcha. Yeah. Well, it would be good because the kids should not be smelling those diesel fumes.
Hold
while they're
on,
it.
Spurgeon quote coming in.
Okay.
If hell must be filled, let it be filled with the teeth of our exertions, and let not one go unwanted and unprayed for.
That's good.
I still don't think that's the right
I don't think that's the right one either, but that's really good.
You're not going to pick a bad one.
It was something about
Isn't he a Calvinist?
who Spurgeon?
Yeah.
He probably was.
David?
So I don't know why. Why would Spurgeon care?
Why is David quoting Spurgeon?
He's trying to find these for me.
Yeah, I know, but he is not like Calvinists. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to stab Calvinists.
Yeah. I don't know. I know Calvinism is probably has a lot to offer into the Christian faith, but it's not the gospel. And neither is our
Wait. No, it just came in, David. I missed the beginning. Yeah, that wasn't there. Now populated. So the first part of it is, if sinners be damned, at least let them leap to hell over our dead bodies. And if they perish, let them perish with our arms wrapped up about their knees, imploring them to stay. If he must be filled, let it be filled with the teeth of our exertions, and let not one go unwanted and unprayed for. I don't think I did it justice, but that's all right.
Oh, that's good. Unprayed for. So if you're gonna pray this week and you want to be heard, you better be a God-fearer, according to.
Let them leap to hell over our dead bodies.
Yeah. Arms wrapped around.
Around their knees, imploring them to stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that tells you, like if you knew somebody was dying, I mean, you could only do so much. But I think in the church, we've become really kind of passive and apathetic.
I guess I'm that way with my kids. But like my libertarian bents
Yeah.
caused me to be like, well, if you want to be a gay guy, go ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, that tells me that I should be like, stop being gay, moron.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Well, that's what I was doing. The whole time I was watching that video of the guy girl that was interviewing Biden, I'm sitting there looking at the TV going, don't you understand I'm talking to him, her,
Right.
trying to help him. But he can't hear me because I usually talk to the TV when no one can hear me.
That's when you're a real tough guy.
Yeah, I know.
That's when the soy really, it's at its lowest. That's
Well,
when the
even
TV
though
is at its highest.
Yeah, even though he was fairly thin, I think I could take him, even with my soy. Although my shoulders are kind of.
He was. Listen, if that's a man, that is a waif man.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness, he's the size of a pretzel.
Yeah, he's very small.
Yeah.
Gentleman. Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know, guys. Anything else today?
Thanks, David, for helping us out. I know
Yeah.
I'm not the best reader of the tiny words and quotes, and I'm not really good at that anyway. I really don't know what I'm good at. I seem to plug a lot of holes, but I'm not. Yeah. I'm reading this going, why am I reading this?
So what do you think, like, when you get to heaven, what do you think you're going to be doing?
I don't know. Probably, like, clearing toilets or something.
Really? That's it?
Well,
That's not bad, though.
I mean, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what I'm doing. Hey, fat kid, we're going to need you to clean the urinals and
You won't.
unclog a toilet.
I mean, those kind of things won't exist. There'll be no more body shaming in heaven or anything like that.
Well, I thought that we would all just have unisex bathrooms. We're still going to have to go to the bathroom.
Well, that's probably true. We are.
That'll be weird.
It'll be weird.
Because Jesus, he ate fish. Where's that stuff going?
Right.
Even after his resurrection, he ate fish, so it's got to go somewhere.
Yeah, you got to feed your body.
Interesting. We'll have to have that on another discussion
Listen,
talk.
Adam and Eve ate something.
Right.
They were allowed to eat anything, just not from the tree of knowledge.
Right. In Eden.
So they ate.
Right. And so they were probably defecating.
Well, I would think it's got to come out.
Yeah.
But if it was a perfect world, was it roses? Did you just fart flowers?
Yeah. No, they had that spray stuff you put in the toilet before.
Then listen. So then Eve sins, and all of a sudden, from behind a bush, you hear Adam go, "What is that smell? What is going on?
This stuff never smelled before.
This is disgusting."
It's possible.
You think that could happen?
No.
I don't
Well, I think that's that's where people get the wrong impression that something being good and perfect doesn't mean it doesn't have normal function, right?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they ate, so obviously stuff came out.
Right.
The body was the same.
Right. So that doesn't make like going to the bathroom's not sinful.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened. There's actually on a Michael Heiser video, there was somebody that asked the question and he answered it. Did Adam and Eve poop?
How about praying on the toilet?
Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Why?
Well,
It's probably better than watching videos.
it probably is better than watching videos, but I find isn't it a little disrespectful? Couldn't you give God a little better of your time than eliminating waste from your body.
I don't know. It didn't. Paul said pray without ceasing, so you can't stop.
Well, touche.
Yeah.
Touche.
Even when you're doing that.
Yeah. No.
I pray in the shower.
Gosh darn, Paul.
Yeah. I pray everywhere,
I
seriously.
pray in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm getting clean.
It depends if you're getting clean
I guess
or not.
you're.
Yeah.
I guess if you're on the John, then you're getting clean too.
That's true.
You're eliminating waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it would help if you had a bidet.
Yeah, the French do have it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Japanese.
We've gone really off the rails.
Well, we went to the ultimate. Don't make drains work no more. We have flushable wipes.
yeah.
I don't want. Listen, I don't want a jet of water down there.
No. But,
A flushable wipe I can do.
okay.
Yeah, the wipes are good.
Seriously?
Yeah.
But not a jet of water.
Wipes are the best thing ever.
Yeah, they do make things better.
Huh.
But a jet of water though, I mean, that's too weird.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah.
Well, it's been going on for a long time, so
Yeah.
Probably priming people to be
you guys got...
Soy acceptors.
gay acceptors.
Gay acceptors.
Yeah.
Grab them by the knees, boys.
It's just a way to get clean, people. Let's not turn this into an R-rated movie.
Grab them by the knees.
Yeah. Anything else? Before this goes way south?
No, I think we're good. You want me to say goodbye?
Yeah, we probably should say goodbye because people
There's two in there.
got things to do.
People got stuff to do. I got things to do.
Yeah.
I gotta go to Kemp's.
Ooh, you get
Did you go
30
last
more-
week?
I did.
They did.
So I ended up not going because I remembered. Well, I'll tell you.
Snooze,
I'll tell you. I know. I'll tell you off air. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching us once again. We really do have fun doing this. And we're glad that you were here to be a part of it. Till next week.